Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the most important, unfiltered, and deeply analyzed political stories unfolding in South Africa. Today, we are diving into a blistering political storm brewing in KwaZulu-Natal, where Floyd Shivambu, the Secretary-General of the uMkhonto Wesizwe Party, has launched a fierce and scathing attack on the African National Congress just days ahead of a critical by-election in Mandeni's Ward 18. Now, if you've been following the shifting political landscape in South Africa, you know that KwaZulu-Natal has become ground zero in the contest for power ahead of the national elections. Once a stronghold for the ANC, the province has seen growing discontent, rising opposition momentum, and a surge in support for parties like MK, spearheaded by none other than Jacob Zuma himself. And in this increasingly competitive environment, Shivambu's explosive allegations hit hard. Shivambu accused the ANC of misusing state resources to boost its electoral campaign, calling their behavior nauseous and unacceptable. According to him, the ANC has done little to nothing for the people of Mandeni in years, only to suddenly reappear with promises, propaganda, and state-sponsored events in the heat of election season. He paints a picture of a party that governs with indifference, then campaigns with state funds when its political life is on the line. And let's be honest, this is not a new accusation. For years, South Africans have raised concerns about how ruling parties use the machinery of government for electoral gain. Whether it's trucks delivering food parcels labeled with party logos, or state officials hosting community events that look suspiciously like campaign rallies, the line between government and party has often been dangerously blurred. But Shivambu is turning up the volume on this complaint, and he's doing it in a high-stakes ward that could become symbolic of deeper political shifts. In his words, the ANC has never done anything for the people of Mandeni and is now attempting to manipulate them into support through sudden acts of generosity and high-visibility campaigning. The implication is clear: the ANC is panicking, and that panic is pushing them to use state resources to try and maintain control of a community that may no longer be loyal. But Shivambu doesn't stop there. He's made a bold prediction that the people of Ward 18 will reject the ANC with contempt on April 30th, and that the MK party will walk away victorious. That's a strong claim, and one that reflects MK's growing confidence, especially in rural KwaZulu-Natal, where the party has made serious inroads since its formation. Let's take a step back and understand the bigger picture here. The MK party emerged from a growing wave of disillusionment with the ANC, especially among supporters of Jacob Zuma who believe the party has lost its way. In the months since its formation, MK has pulled crowds, made headlines, and shaken up what used to be comfortable territory for the ANC. This is no longer a party of the fringe, it's a serious contender in one of South Africa's most politically charged provinces. Mandeni is not just a random ward, it is a bellwether. A symbolic space where the ANC's grip on rural voters will be tested. A loss here could ripple far beyond Ward 18, signaling that communities once loyal to the ANC are now willing to turn to new parties, new leaders, and new political visions. And this is why Shivambu's words matter. He's not just making an election pitch. He's delivering a warning that voters are no longer asleep. That they are paying attention. That they can see through the food parcels, the road patches, the late-night promises. There's also a question of democratic integrity here. When government resources are used for electoral campaigns, the playing field is no longer fair. Smaller parties like MK don't have access to state vehicles, venues, or event budgets. They can't host community meetings with public funds or run public awareness programs branded as a service delivery. When the ruling party uses state tools to win elections, it erodes trust in the process, and it disrespects the very voters it claims to serve. And while the ANC has yet to respond to these accusations, this is a story they've heard before. In election after election, civil society groups and opposition parties have accused the ANC of abusing its incumbency to tip the electoral scales. The real question now is, will voters continue to tolerate it? Shivambu seems to believe the answer is no. He's placing his faith in the people of Mandeni to see through the campaign blitz and vote with their conscience. And based on recent developments in other parts of KZN, that may not be an unreasonable expectation. Let's not forget that we are on the cusp of one of South Africa's most important elections since 1994. The ANC is facing internal divisions, external threats, and a growing crisis of legitimacy. Public trust is low. Service delivery has collapsed in many areas. Corruption scandals, poor governance, and economic decline have left voters angry, frustrated, and ready for change. MK isn't the only party trying to seize on this discontent, but it is perhaps the most visible in KZN, with a message that taps into both the emotional legacy of Zuma and the current dissatisfaction with Ramaphosa's leadership. Whether you agree with their politics or not, it's clear they're striking a chord. But make no mistake, this by-election will not be easy for any party. With election observers and watchdog groups monitoring closely, any hint of electoral fraud or intimidation will be under the spotlight. And for the ANC, losing a ward like Mandeni wouldn't just hurt, it would send a signal to the rest of the country that its support is bleeding even in its rural heartlands. That's why this story matters. It's about more than one ward. It's about more than one party. It's about the direction South African democracy is heading. Can voters hold leaders accountable? Can opposition parties rise without fear or suppression? Can the electoral system stand firm in the face of political interference? These are the questions we should all be asking right now. So, what do you think? Is Shivambu right? Has the ANC betrayed the people of Mandeni and returned only to exploit their votes? Will the MK party rise as the new voice of rural discontent, or is this just more political theatre in a system that desperately needs reform? Let us know what you think in the comments below. We are watching this space very closely and will keep bringing you all the updates, analysis, and breakdowns you need to stay informed. If you found this video informative, give it a thumbs up. If you're passionate about South Africa's future and want to keep up with the most important political developments, make sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay aware, stay engaged, and stay politically sharp. See you next time.